How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Prime Energon, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series Soundwave, along with Buzzsaw, Laserbeak, and Ravage. So first and foremost, thank you for joining me here on Prime Energon. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. It'll help me out. It'll help out the channel, and I would really appreciate you. So let's get started on Studio Series Soundwave from Transformers the movie. So taking a look at the box here, so you get some nice artwork of Soundwave and all his little friends on the front in robot mode, cassette mode, and then you also do get Transformers Studio Series with leader class. Some shots on the back of Soundwave in robot mode and in his alt mode with every single one of them. You get Buzzsaw, you get Ravage, and you also do get Laserbeak on there as well. You get the Transformers branding, Transformers the movie, and there you go for the packaging. So taking a quick look at Soundwave here, looking fan-freaking-tastic. He looks awesome. I would have to say that he feels pretty light for what he is. The plastic is good quality, but it just feels light and hollow because he is a bulky boy. It's just everything is going to be very hollow and not really filled in. Like for his legs, everything just feels very hollow. And nonetheless, he looks fantastic. Taking a look at that head sculpt, very nice looking head sculpt with some gray, silver for his mouth guard and his sides right there. Some nice red eyes and nice blue plastic. Checking out his crest up top. And done really well. Checking out the back of his head. Checking out his cannon over here. You get some nice paint for the individual missiles. Get some nice red going along the front of it as well. Get some articulation with that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Checking out his chest scope. Looking really nice. Some yellow going around the borders. Could be a little bit thicker. You can still see a little bit of the blue plastic shining through. Decepticon logo smack dab in the middle. You get some nice detail on the inside as well. You can check that out. Looking really nice. And checking out his arms. Some nice detailing on there. Again, they're going for the tune accurate. So you're not going to get all that, detail on the surface, but still looking really good. You get some nice red going along his cuffs of his forearms. Taking a look at the inside, no hollow spots, so that's actually pretty nice. Taking a look at his waist, you get the play buttons on there and side skirts, little skirts on there as well. Taking a look at the legs, done in a nice, sort of opaque plastic, which I think looks good. So hardly any paint on him. Everything is going to be made out of this lighter plastic, and then the blue. You get some silver over here on his shins, which actually looks pretty good. And some more of that yellow following down here. All of the paint is going to be on his legs on here for this silver, for the front and side of his legs. And of course, this darker silver for his feet on the bottom. So he looks fantastic. Checking out the back, a little bit of a backpack, but I think it actually looks pretty accurate. And then checking out the back, you get the actual play buttons and forward buttons. That's going to be in alt mode. And the back of the legs clean up pretty well. Like I said, everything is hollow, but they fill those gaps. But as you can see right there, hollow legs, nothing in there, but everything gets filled, so that's pretty good. And of course, the back right here, everything gets filled. But again, this is all hollow for everything. That's why he feels so light. Taking a look at articulation for Soundwave. So the head is on this little swivel joint, and then you also do have a ball joint, so it has some side-to-side movement. Can look up, can look down. The cannon can rotate. It can't go up and down because it's on a peg, so that's kind of a little bit of a disappointment. I kind of wish it had up and down articulation. Arms can go all the way out, and they can go all the way around. You do get a butterfly joint, so if you activate this hinge, you can have a butterfly joint, and you have a backwards butterfly joint if you need that as well. You get upper bicep rotation. You get double bicep, so you get the 90 degrees, and then you can also activate this bottom joint to get even more range for his biceps, which is actually pretty cool. He can push his own button, if you're wondering. So if you rotate everything around and activate that, open up his hand, and then activate that furthermore and rotate it around, he can, let's see if we can do it. Let's see, can we do it? Can we do it? He can push his own button, and you can have that look right there. So that's actually pretty cool. You got to have SOUNDWAVE push his own button. You get hand rotation, and then you get some articulation at the fingers as well. You get a waist rotation unhindered. Legs can kick out, so he can do the full splits. Can kick forward, move the butt flap. Can kick back. You get some upper thigh rotation. You get 90-degree bend at the knee. And then you also do get some rotation at the feet. You get a lot of ankle tiltage and forward right there. No backwards for the feet. Now taking a look at his little friend. So here we go for Ravage. We're going to start off with Ravage. They look okay. I really do like Buzzsaw and Laserbeak more than Ravage, but still, taking a look at some of the detail, you get some nice detailing, some nice red eyes for his head. Decepticon logo right there on his arm. Some nice silver, but it's mainly going to be out of this black plastic. You get a lot of parts forming with the missiles and his tail having to connect to the back, so that is also kind of annoying. Once all of these in cassette mode, you have a lot of pieces you got to try to keep track of. You get some articulation for Ravage. Legs can move, typical stuff. They could go out. Not too much in the articulation area for Ravage. And then to transform him, we're going to go ahead and take this butt piece off, which again, everything is separated, so do not lose any of these pieces. Get some nice missiles on there, done in a nice silver. And his tail does have a little bit of articulation. And to transform him, you're going to go ahead pretty much just rotate his body around and have it flipping the other way. And then now we're going to go ahead and open his legs and collapse his feet. And then do the same thing for his arms. Collapse the arms, put them straight back. And then we're going to go ahead and split his head right down the middle. And then there you go for transformation. Does not look like a cassette. You have a little bit of spools right there, but not really a perfect cassette. He does fit in SOUNDWAVE just fine though. So there you go for that look. So here we got Buzzsaw. The only thing I don't like are the wings. They're too straight. I kind of wish they had that little angle at the tip to angle them back. That would look a little bit better. Yeah, they're just too straight. I kind of wish they had that little angle back for the tip of the wings. But still, you get some nice detail. Some nice yellow for the eyes. And you get some articulation as well for his head. Can look up. Can look down. Can go back. He can't go all the way forward just because this front piece right there. Get some yellow paint over here for his body, his little feet. And again, you get a lot of parts forming, so this whole entire piece comes off. And this is separated by 3 pieces. So you got to put all of this stuff together, and that's kind of annoying. And that is a lot of little pieces to get lost, and you get some more detailing on the inside. And it just pegs on with these little pegs right there to stay on. It's not really the securest peg, but it is what it is. Some nice detailing underneath. And there you go for top. You get some nice Decepticon logos right there. And Laserbeak is pretty much the exact same thing, just in red. Done exactly the same way. And transformation on these are actually pretty simple as well. So we're going to go ahead and fold the wings forward. We're going to floop in the head. Collapse the wings. We're going to go ahead and open up the feet. And collapse the wings. And there you go for cassette mode for Buzzsaw. And this one actually does look like a cassette. And again, can fit inside as well. You get that look right there. So that's actually pretty cool. And Laserbeak is going to be the exact same way. And like I said, do not lose all of these pieces that come along with the figure. So quickly going on over some comparisons. So here we got SOUNDWAVE with Bumblebee SOUNDWAVE and Transformers Dark of the Moon SOUNDWAVE. As you can see, the Bayverse SOUNDWAVE is very, very small. He's a little tiny deluxe class compared to the Voyagers that you got from Bumblebee and the Leader class that you get now. And I would have to say that the Bumblebee actually still looks pretty good and still holds up. I mean, it's exactly the same size as the Studio Series Soundwave, and they actually look pretty good together. And here we got the Transformers Earthrise or the Coordination Starscream. So very nicely done. Starscream is a little bit shorter, but we're going to get a new Studio Series version of him, so that's actually pretty cool. Here you go for Transformers Studio Series Megatron, and I think they hold up pretty well, and the sizing is actually pretty good. You got Soundwave actually looking up the Megatron is actually a pretty good size. Finally, we got Soundwave, which is the same size as Blaster, his equivalent, and his Autobot Nemesis. Both actually play cassettes and music, so that's actually pretty cool. And he's the same size. So finally, the Legacy was always shorter than Blaster. Now we got one that's the exact same size, so that's actually pretty cool. So quickly taking a look at his blaster. So again, we saw this one over here with the nice little red missiles. And then we also get this one over here, which can be held in his hand. And you just flip it on his hand, just like so. And the thing I don't like about this is that it's very loose. This piece that extends in and out, it's very loose and it tends to go in sometimes. And it's facing the wrong way. It's supposed to be like this, not like this. So keep that in mind. But it does have some nice silver paint on there with some red going along the rim. And everything else is going to be done just in a blue plastic. You do get some storage over here on the back, which you can store these in robot mode, just like that. And then I'll show you where to store them in alt mode. So going on over to transformation, he is pretty simple to transform. So we're going to pretty much just straighten out his arms. They will dupe into place. We're going to open up his hands and flip them inside and then close that panel back up. Do the same thing over here. Open it up. Close that panel back up. Close them. And then we're going to unlatch right here and just bring these back and have them sitting right there. We're going to open up these panels on the back and just have them out like that. Bring this whole piece back. We're going to floop in his head. Close that back up. Then what you're going to want to do is close up his shins so they do go inside of his legs. And then we're going to rotate at the waist to bring everything backwards. We're going to open up these panels, flip his feet around, open up this little heel spur, and then put the foot inside. We're going to close this panel in and leave this panel out. Do the same thing over here. Turn the foot around, open up this panel, flip it inside, close this panel, leave that one out. And there you go for his legs. Now everything else is going to be pretty simple. You're going to rotate and bring his leg up. We're going to open up these panels of his flap. And then now you get some tabs. You're going to go into there. It's going to click into place. Just like that. Do the same thing over here. Rotate it and bring it up. And click that into place. And now we can bring this whole panel down. You get little tabs that are going to go on the side right there. And that will hold it into place. And then for the back, for weapons storage, we're going to go ahead and bring in his pieces. And you got these ports that are going to be in the back right there. And just move his arm out just a little bit. That way you can get these in there. And just stick these in sort of like little batteries. And now we can close these panels up, and then we can bring on his arms. You get these tap slot connections that are going to go right there. Slot that into place. Slot that into place. And there you go for Transformers Studio Series Soundwave in his cassette mode. And it does actually pop open, and that's actually pretty cool. Taking a look at some of the detail, you get some nice silver for the buttons. Silver over here for the legs. Taking a look at the side. And he actually does have a headphone jack, so that's actually pretty cool. You don't see a lot of those on smartphones nowadays. Taking a look at the back, could clean up a little bit easier, but I think it looks a lot better than the Legacy one. And there you go for the bottom. You get his legs just showing up right there, but he looks like a cassette player. And it's actually pretty cool. So now for comparisons in alt mode, here we got Soundwave, here we got Bumblebee. Soundwave, which transforms into some sort of Cybertronian vehicle. Does not look like cassette tape. I guess you can, maybe, if you extend it like that. But Not a cassette tape, but here you go for that. Compared to Studio Series Soundwave. And here you go for Transformers Dark and Moon, which transforms into a car. Does he play music in that car? Does he have a cassette player in that car? Probably not, but it is what it is. And there you go for that comparison for that. And finally, here we go for Transformers Blaster, which now they both are pretty much in scale. So pretty nice for comparisons in alt mode for Transformers Studio Series Soundwave. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video of the Transformers Studio Series Leader Class Soundwave from Transformers the Movie. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And I will see you next time here on the channel. Peace.